Hello, everybody, except Andrew. Welcome back.
Hello. Yes.
Andrew's there. They just their stealth is so good. Yeah, spot Andrew in this picture. Where are they? Anyway, welcome back. Hi, everybody.
Like, where's Waldo?
Exactly. Yeah. Just the predator cloak just comes off, and they're standing right
Oh
there.
my god, that would be the creepiest thing.
Well, I mean, you could get. I guess the way to do that would be to make take a picture of your room, put up a blue screen, put the picture of your room as the blue screen, wear a blue screen like suit, stand there, and then just turn it off and be like, wow.
Oh god, that'd be the hilarious.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, Andrew is indeed here. So welcome back. Hi. Cool. All right. Let's do the thing. So. You're led to the catacombs, led to the entrance to the upper catacombs, and you enter it through a stone structure resembling many of the mausoleums in the graveyard, except that this building has no door; it just has an open archway. Inside, there's a small paved floor area that opens into a wide stone staircase. The building is little more than a covering over the stairs, really just a way to keep the rain from flooding down the stairs. And I think just at a glance, you can see that it's made up of like several different kinds of architecture, that it's been built up and rebuilt over the years, several times. So let's jump right into it. This is a very map focused adventure. So I have prepared a map for you. I have enough maps now that I can't drag all the way across in one go. So I have to
I know that feeling.
drag you and then drag you again. So here we go. Welcome to the catacombs.
I think we can get rid of that boat.
Yeah, we need to delete that boat forever, please.
Delete that boat map. All right. So Lane, let's talk about your new and exciting magic item. Let me just search. They're called
First magic item we've had ever.
They're called Goggles of Night. And by wearing these dark lenses, you have dark vision out to a range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision, wearing the goggles increases its range by 60 feet. So what's cool now is not only, Lane, can you see in the dark, but you look extra cool with your cool guy goggles on.
Or
You can have
a
nice shades.
bit like a twat.
So at this point, Cassit is willing to carry a lantern for you into the dungeon, but doesn't necessarily have to at this point. Though they have night vision. She has night vision too, so she doesn't need to. She doesn't need the lantern.
If she does bring a lantern, I sort of wave her off with it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll revert her to her night vision here. So. There we go. All right. So you enter the this entire adventure is in like monochrome, right? Like dark vision doesn't give you like color. Yeah. So yeah, everything you see in here. If I describe color, remind me you can't see it.
And I like let out a long sigh and like take the hood off of my cloak.
Wait, can Blue Jay see it though? Because she has like natural darkness vision, like with the 120.
So I think what happened in 5th edition, I don't know if this is a transition from 3rd to 4th to 5th or whether it's always been like this, but there used to be like ultravision and infravision and like all these other like bullshit kinds of vision. But in 5e, I think it's just everybody has dark vision.
Okay.
And dark vision. Let me double check because I might be wrong. I know all the GM stuff. I don't know the player stuff as much. Let's look up.
I don't know if it mentions specifically what. Yeah.
Elf dark vision here. Dark vision. Accustomed to twilight forests in the night sky, you have superior vision in dark and dim conditions. You can see in dim light within 60 feet as if it were bright light, and darkness as if it were a dim light. You can't discern color in darkness, only shades of gray. And then the subrace stuff. Oh, the SRD. The SRD doesn't have the dark elf stuff specifically. So if it's different for Drow, it'll be in the player's handbook.
While we're doing this, I'll take a quick look.
Okay, sure.
I mean, I've got it also, but I honestly don't think like if the drow just lived that way, that's probably just how she's accustomed to seeing, right?
Yeah, I think you just like color's not really a thing, which would mean all of the portrayals of like dark elves wearing like purple or whatever like intentionally wouldn't make sense, because I guess they have light sources for their slaves, because they enslave races that don't have dark vision.
I mean, the thing is that like
If you couldn't see color, you wouldn't use it for your like clothes or art.
but we have the dancing lights cantrip as one of our like just native traits, so we do like have the ability to create light, and I'm assuming that we do like light our homes, just not with like sunlight. It probably just, I mean, I'm assuming that we don't just live in darkness like Gollum.
But then why not? Because you can all see 120 feet in the dark anyway.
Anyway, this is like we're getting off track.
Every conversation about dark elves eventually hits a logic wall, so it's okay that we don't have to worry about it. But you can see 120 feet, and you and you can see in the dark. Yeah, the scale of this map. I turned off the grid so you can kind of move yourselves around as you like. The scale is pretty big. It's like 10 feet to a square.
Yeah, I just that.
So feel free to move yourselves around. The grid is just there to give you an idea of how stuff is. Two of you can occupy one square if you need to.
I would like to drop back a little here to Casite, and sort of put an arm around her shoulder, and just do so where are we going?
So once you get underground, once you get out of the presence of the Doom Guide and stuff, she seems to like get a little more talkative, and she says to you, she's like, "Oh, well, we're going into the catacombs. You see, there's the upper catacombs and the lower catacombs, and the upper catacombs are quite interesting. They're made up of all sorts of different forms of cultural burial rituals. We have," and she starts to like rattle off all this like information about the catacombs, and at some point she's like, I'm so excited to die and be buried here. I mean, when Kellamvor says so, I don't have a death wish or anything, but when I do die, it would be very nice to occupy this place. I feel so at home down here.
Yes, well, I'm glad you're comfortable, but we're looking for specifically the place where these undead have been roaming around.
Yeah, so she says, we found the body here, and gestures, but haven't pressed on much further on account of, as you said, the undead. I've never seen any myself. I'm quite frightened of the idea, but I'm sure that with...
As she's talking, I kind of just pat her on the shoulder, like, like, calm down, kind of gesture.
And she looks around and notices that all of you, aside from Lane, are like wearing hoods and like stuff, and she kind of like nods, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine," and like pulls her hood up and kind of like
gets skullduggery with us.
Yeah. And she does have I think she does have a weapon. Let me take a quick look at her character sheet here. Casite, the acolyte. She does. She has a club. She has a wooden club hanging from her belt, and she like pats it reassuringly, like, "I'm sure if there's any trouble, we'll be just fine."
I agree.
Now, why do they call your priests doom gods?
She says, "Oh, well, that's an interesting story. So, it's Doom Guide, actually, and it doesn't mean doom in the sense of everything going horribly wrong. Though some people tend to assume that it's not about a bleak destiny, but simply the fact that, well, we all die and face that end alone." And the priesthood hopes to make that process more comfortable. We see to it that the dead are properly interred and respected, and see to the needs of the bereaved. I've been around more crying people in the few years that I've served Kellamvor than in my whole life entire. It's very sad for some, but I find it comforting to do that work. Funerals are very interesting, don't you think?
I think
really fond of them. Yes.
What I think is perhaps we should be a little quieter as we move into potentially dangerous territory.
Yeah, there's the sound of Graveris drawing his sword, and then just... I didn't realize this was the guided tour.
So she laughs, she covers her mouth. She's like, "I'm sorry, I get excited. The catacombs are such a fascinating place."
I have a crossbow slung over my back, but I'm not touching it. It's just there.
Where was it the body was found?
Weapons.
She points at the floor. She says, "Just here. It looked like she was trying to escape. I don't know why they didn't eat the rest of her." And you can see if you look at the floor, like it's been scrubbed, but there's like some obvious like dark like stain to
What
it.
part did they eat of her?
She kind of like quirks her head and she's like, well, her legs. I assume she fell as she was trying to get away. And that was the part they got to. It looked horrifying. I've never seen anyone with their legs missing before.
Doesn't look like they were going after specific organs then.
She kind of like
Have
shrugs.
you dealt with the undead before? I turn around.
You're asking Kassit that?
I'm asking the rest of my party as well.
Well, I know the basics.
As happens.
What kind of knowledge would the undead fall under, actually?
Religion, I think,
Then I know the basics.
for the most part.
I tend to come around every once in a while. I haven't dealt with them myself, but I've had enough.
Right.
So just to give you an idea of this room generally, so the base of these stairs open up into this kind of irregularly shaped chamber, and the wall to the side, this wall here, is covered in a huge fresco. The painted tiles portray people from varying races and walks of life. You see elves, dwarves, gnomes, humans of varying sizes and colors. And has been arranged with no sense of perspective or relative scale. It seems quite like interpretive and sort of slapdash. The design itself, though, has suffered heavy damage from water seepage and mildew over the centuries. There's a stone like kind of little outcropping in the back wall here that's currently empty. It's about like bed shaped, so like a triangular little or a rectangular little like outcropping, yeah, and that's the only other thing. There's two ways out of the chamber. This direction here, where Layden is standing, and then this door that Gravaris is standing next to.
So
Right.
where was it that can you mark on the map where the body was like?
Yeah. I mean, they found her just kind of like in this vicinity.
She was trying to get up the
Yeah.
stair
And
like
the blood trail comes from the bottom up? Or
Yes,
does it
yeah.
come-
Well, it's not even like a blood trail. Like she died here and seemed to be like trying to leave the catacombs, according to
Right.
Kassit.
Okay.
I'm going to point at the door and look at Cassit and just be like, what's in here?
Oh, the banquet hall. Some cultures require a funerary feast be performed in honor of the dead.
Yeah, I'm just like pushing the door open.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna follow you if you move into it.
Okay. All right. Sure. Let me clear that door for you if you're gonna open it up. Boop. And there you go. So you should be able to pass on into the room now. Okay. So this funerary banquet hall is surprisingly pleasant when you consider that it's adjacent to a tomb and under a graveyard. This room contains several long tables that are basically like polished boards set over trestles, and there's benches next to them for seating. There is a smaller alcove kind of in the back corner here, locked with an iron gate, and the room seems quiet. There isn't anything going on. There's no lights lit, but there's a faint smell of food and incense in the room.
And sorry, what's behind the iron gate here?
So if you walk over to it and take a look, what at first appears to be a small room or a closet turns out to be a shaft that heads down. There's a block and tackle that hangs from the ceiling of the shaft, and handholds have been chiseled into the wall.
Yeah, and again, I look at her guide.
Mm-hmm. She says, sometimes we need to raise and lower bodies. It leads down to the burial chambers.
Yeah, and I give the gate a little like rattle to see if it's open or.
It is locked.
Yeah, so there's this like clatter as I rattle it, and well, they didn't come in through here.
Secure enough?
And I'm certainly not going down that way.
No.
Okay.
Let's move on then. And Graveris, I know probably not accustomed to me saying so, but Stay behind me.
Yeah, and I like quirk an eyebrow at you.
Yeah, and that's when I take out my sword.
6-foot great sword. So there's can I just real quickly examine the area where the body was supposed to be and see if there's any like signs of like something that was following her that wasn't scrubbed away or
Yeah, sure. Make an investigation check.
click.
Oh dear. Well, no. You with your cursory examination, you can
Whoa.
find no.
One, she can't have help to get advantage. And
She rolled before anybody offered
Yeah.
or she asked for help.
I did,
Okay,
yeah.
fine. She's a loner. She's a cool badass loner.
I'm
Yeah.
a cool badass loner and I don't need no damn help except for
Blue Jay, real quick on the draw there.
I wanted to roll for my
It's fine.
character.
You're allowed. You're allowed to be quick on the draw. It's not a criticism. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's fine. You all went on ahead and I was just like, oh, floor, well, whatever.
You haven't been a true loner until you've played like Torchbearer or Burning Wheel and someone has been like, let me give you a helping die, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
Thank you. I reject your helping dice.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, you can't. I mean, there's no like the place is like relatively well kept in this area. Like it's been like swept, and they obviously like tried to like clean up, right? Because they got to keep using the crypt, so it didn't serve to have like a big blood stain on the floor. It's not a clean site, basically.
Okay.
So what are we looking at here with the...
Yeah. So if you come around the corner, and I think Lane, like some part of this, and maybe Anastasia too, some part of this will seem familiar to you, because what we see is a series of like ornate iron gates. They go from ceiling to floor, wall to wall. That's what those dots are. They cover these little alcoves, little 10 foot by 10 foot alcoves. You can see through them clearly, and the gates are. In many cases, like filigreed or have inset of some rare metal. They're meant to be both preventative of people opening them, and then also let you see how like nicely they've been constructed. And these series of crypts, you see scenes of normal daily life, richly dressed people sitting around tables or at writing desks in luxurious chairs. And when I say you see these scenes, I'm saying like literally, you don't see like paintings of them. You see these things. And all of this would be, again, completely normal, except that all the participants in these macabre dioramas are skeletal remains of the affluent, carefully posed and interred among their favorite possessions. So perhaps a relative of yours might be interred here among the first families of Flan. They're successful merchants, political leaders, military officers. There's one, it's a skeleton sitting at a writing desk with his like skeletal hand up to his chin, and he's got a powdered wig on. And there's like a stuffed cat like sitting on the desk next to him, like looking up at him. And they're all scenes like this. There's one particularly gruesome scene that's like a man and a woman. Similarly, like accoutred, like in the sort of velvet robes of like a court official, and the man has a knife and a fork and is like cutting the bones of like a turkey. So he's got this knife between the ribs of his bones of the turkey. There's a skeleton sitting behind him with her hand on his shoulder, and there are several skeletal children around the table, eagerly awaiting their meal. So it's. Yeah, and Cassid is like standing, and she's just kind of like staring at one of these skeletons, and I think she mumbles to whoever's standing nearest her, maybe to Anastasia. She's like, sometimes I think if I stare at them long enough, they're going to move. They never have, but she like squints and kind of like leans into the bars.
Yeah.
I whisper back to her, like mumble back to her next to her, and go, sometimes if you try hard enough, they do.
And she kind of like nods, and she's like, I suppose that's what we're here to prevent, isn't it?
Yeah. I would like to use my first paladin power.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. What's it called? Divine Sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see if I can discern any current undead within this hallway, because this seems like a great place to put a trap.
That doesn't ping off me, right? There's a fiend in there.
No, you're not a fiend. It would have slightly, like Zahiri would have slightly set it off, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you sense you reach out, and what does this look like? Like if you're not praying, you're not like, Torm, what up, buddy? Where's those dead at? What is this like? How does your divine sense manifest? How does your Witcher vision work?
You
Yeah.
press RT.
Just hold R2 and everything turns
Just
blue.
hold
Anyway, go ahead, Dave. Tell us about your divine sense.
So I think what kind of happens is I'm looking into like the corners of the rooms, looking around, and where before like the darkness and the shadows would hide things from me, I blink and I look again, and there's kind of like swirling colors at the edge of my vision, and I can sort of pick out from the shadows of things that are being cast or potentially not, whether there's something in what is casting that shadow.
Is that weird
cool.
for Lane? Like, does he not expect it?
You
or-
didn't have magic powers the last time we met you.
Yeah, like I'm just.
No, he's a little bit. He wouldn't show you that he's surprised. He's still getting used to them, though. I mean, it's been a couple of days since he found out that he can do these things, so he's been practicing a little bit. But
I love the idea of playing a character who has divine like power but doesn't know or understand the source, because if we don't define it now, it leaves us space later to be like, it was Satan all along, right? And like more of that stuff. That's super fun. Cool.
Yeah, what if Dave becomes a paladin of Kelmvor or something?
So you're familiar with the dead enough. Cool. All right. So you reach out with this new sense. You stare deeply into the shadows, and let me see. No, there's no. You sense no presence of the undead within 60 feet of you, unless it's behind total cover. But
okay,
yeah.
yeah, I say. Sounds like you're right. This corridor should be fine, and I just make my way down it.
Cool. Okay. All right. So you start heading down that way. So at the end of the hall, there is there's a set of stairs that head down further into the catacombs. You can see a long hallway with a door to one side over there, and that's halfway down on a landing, and then the stairs continue down below.
So you said that these little dioramas are what locked behind iron bars?
Yes, yeah, they're locked. These like iron.
So I like
iron
stare
gates.
longingly at like the valuables.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
there's totally like jewelry and like expensive looking clothes, and yeah. Why people bury the dead with their expensive shit? Hard to say.
You don't have any use for them anymore.
Just out of curiosity, is like the atrium area of this crypt consecrated? Because I would have seen that as well.
Yeah, any area that's been consecrated or desecrated as with the Hallow spell. No.
So they pay kind of a lot of lip service, but they've not actually done any magic.
Well, it requires a cleric of actual cleric-y power. So there's I mean it serves a function more than a magic one. Now if
There
you
has been religion here, but
yeah, exactly.
not clerical magic.
There's been religion, but no religion. You know?
No
Like-
capital R religion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. See, anything interesting in here? We can have a look.
Yeah, the door next to her. She says, "Oh," and she's like talking past Graveris and Anastasia, like, "Well, it's interesting." And she's like trying to be quiet because Graveris, I assume, like looks at her when she talks.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. We actually don't know why that room is the way it is. It's a great pit full of bones, and some bones are well, they're old. They're stored in there. We don't really use it anymore, but no one knows why it's like that.
Oh, good. A room no one knows what it does. I bet that's not the source of where the horrible things are coming from.
The interesting thing is that in the pre-civilization that came before Flan, this place was a site sacred to several strange funerary cults. We think it's one of theirs. Best not to touch it, I think. But there's a chamber beyond. If you go around the pit, I've never been, but You can take a look. The door shouldn't be warded or anything.
Then let us do so.
Okay.
When she says funerary cult, I'm immediately trying to remember the various funerary cults that existed before Flan was a thing.
Oh.
Can I like arcana that or something?
It'd be a history check, yeah.
How about there's like cults. Interesting. And I fish out the book out of my bag.
That was the Miss something cults.
It's cults of the Moon Sea region. The Flan is indeed a part of the Moon Sea. So, Graveris, you wanna or Lane, you wanna help with this with your book? What does the books give you? The books give you advantage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the book gives advantage.
Okay. So what? You like fish it out and go like,
yeah, like if you mention like cults, and I'll be like, oh yeah,
yeah. Here you go, book. Yeah, read
Cults.
book. 17.
Yeah. Okay. So with a 17, yeah. So over the centuries,
Oh, hold on.
He's plus
of course,
2.
yeah, right.
20.
I'm just like, you just hear Graveris like mutter like page numbers, like page 176.
Right. Okay. So yeah, over the centuries, prior to the rise, like Kelemvor has only been God of the Dead for like 100 years or so. Forgotten Realms historians can find me the actual date. But the previous God of the Dead was a much nastier fellow named Merkel. And Merkel, as God of the Dead, was very much like about undead and dying and death. Like he was like, yeah, dying is bad and scary. And he had armies of undead serving him, and his priests were not nice people. So he had several followers that were funerary cults and worshippers of the undead and that sort of thing. But funerary cults are still a thing in Flan. They're really more people who are like either splintered off from the religion of Kelemvor or seek to emulate some older way that see death as kind of like they're a little more metal and a little less like peaceful rest kind of death. And they're respected by the Church of Kelemvor as long as they don't raise the undead or anything, because however you want to treat your dead, that's cool. And so people who follow these funeral cults may well continue to like throw their dead's bones into this pile.
Oh, well. You say you haven't used this place in a long time?
She shakes her head. No, it doesn't see very often. See use. Doomguide Glandon might be able to tell you more about it, but I don't know too much myself.
I do the snap the book shut maneuver and hand it back to Lane.
Puff of dust.
Yeah, exactly.
So this room, as you enter it, Lane and Graveris, you can see that a circular pit nearly fills the chamber. It takes up that whole center square with all the lines. Those are bones.
That's not a circle.
The pit is circular. It takes up the center of the room. Use your fucking imagination. It occupies a 10 foot by 10 foot square. And there's only a narrow pathway around the outside. The pit itself is filled to about 5 feet below the lip with humanoid bones. You can see skulls and femurs and what have you. The only way through the chamber is the sort of narrow pathway that hugs the wall around the outside. Narrow niches in the walls are filled with carefully placed bones, baubles, and other similar items.
And as I enter the room and gaze into the pit, I'm like, yes, how I always wanted to die, an undead orgy. And I just like if it was higher, I would have like poked it, but it's like 5 feet down. So.
Yeah. So as you say that, you hear Kassit like a sharp kind of like surprised intake of breath. And if you could see her in color, you just made her blush. But you see her cheeks darken slightly. Her face is a slightly darker shade of gray. Graveris, can you make a dexterity acrobatics check for me, please, as you navigate the room?
Perhaps ill-advised.
Okay, you're.
Oh, yeah, I can.
with grace and charm, you just pass by the bones, no problem.
Yeah, there's like a loose stone, and I step on it, and then like lift my foot back up, step on a different one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just that it's narrow, and you kind of have to press your back against the wall. But yeah, anybody who wants to make their way to where Graveris.
Is there anything over there that we need to be concerned about following you for?
I keep going and see if that is the case.
Yeah, I'd like to head over as well.
I see a thing.
So here's the thing, and I think that Graveris, by coming around the corner and seeing the thing, you call for an initiative roll. So
okay,
First fight,
the first thing you notice as you come around the corner is the smell of wood smoke. It's sort of overpowering, coming from the far end of the hallway. And you can hear a gentle kind of like, and then you hear a bone like crack, and this sort of wet cracking sound as you come around the corner. And yeah, you see at the edge of your vision, and I think again we see, because we're seeing this like black and white kind of like dark vision thing. We see the head of one of these creatures. It's like a naked humanoid. Wow, that is the best initiative roll I've ever seen, Lane. Good work. We see this naked like crouching figure, humanoid, like look up, and we see again like a mouthful of like jagged teeth, emaciated flesh drawn tight over bones, and these like glowing eyes, kind of like you get when you flash like a flashlight in the eyes of an animal. It gets like this sort of reflected look, and it looks up at you and hisses. And you've alerted the creatures to your presence. Now everybody started rolling before I got a chance to clear the order from last time, so give me a second to clean up the mess you all just made.
Sorry.
It's correct to me.
It's okay.
Yeah. Me too.
But can
my
you
God,
organize
no,
it in
me
the
and
correct
Dave.
order, Adam?
Dave and I.
There's a button for that, but give me a second. Okay, so
Which
Graveris,
button, though?
you got a 14.
we can always just do it over. I wouldn't
Nope.
care.
Just it sticks. Lane with his 0, it stands. Let me roll for this.
Yeah, my 16 I'm alright with.
I gotta pop out these beasts, and then I'll roll, and then we'll do
Oh
the thing.
man.
I'm not fast anymore.
It's
not
true.
So
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
there a
you're wearing all
fire?
that armor.
What's that?
Is there a fire? Is that why I'm swelling with smoke?
No. There's no source. Well, if there is, there's no source of light that you can see here.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Curiouser indeed.
So
When
as
ghouls
a
go
question
first.
for like in terms of mechanics, if I had chosen undead as my favorite enemy, does that include like ghouls and such, or just
Ghouls are
Yeah.
hella undead. Yep.
so it's got a wide range of creatures?
It does, yeah.
Yes,
Like
yep. That's why when you pick humanoids, you pick 2 of them, because humanoids is too wide a range for it to be balanced.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So so the creature looks up and hisses, and then Anastasia, you get to go first.
Since I've
I guess
already crossed
what-
it, Adam,
Sorry.
did you want me to dex before? Because I'd crossed it, then you describe what Graveris did, or do you want me to?
Oh no, do it. If you've already crossed it, go ahead and make that roll, and then we'll see where you start your turn.
In a bone pit.
Yeah.
In the bone pit.
In the bone pit. Yep.
bone
Definitely in the bone pit. The funny thing is here, I'll be real with you. The DC on this check is 5.
But, yeah, no problem.
It's a DC 5 dexterity check.
In the bone pit.
Oh, it's not a dexterity save. Do you have a bonus? I'm assuming not. To your acrobatics? Or is your acrobatics the same number? Okay, all right. So
No, just athletic.
yeah, so Lane, as you like come up behind Graveris, you slip and tumble into the jagged bones in the pit. And you take
Damage.
3 damage. So Lane takes a tumble off the slippery shelf and falls into the bone pit.
I think I giggle a little.
How deep down
Yes.
is that? How deep down is that? Like, can he climb out on his own?
Yeah,
or-
it's only 5 feet deep to the
Okay,
surface layer of the bones.
I'm not gonna help you then.
Dexterity is not his jam. It's cool.
Yeah. So if I'm first, I called out to my friend Graveris, obviously, like anything worth coming to look at. What was the response I got? Because it doesn't need to be his turn for him to talk, right? So,
Correct. Oh, I need to add.
I can't see what's going on.
I need to add her.
I just say, yeah, ghouls.
Oh, and immediately I'm coming towards you.
Lovely.
So I got a 30-foot movement. That brings me to sort of there.
Oh, don't do it. Don't crowd the hall. Well, actually, it's 10-foot hallway, right?
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
it's
a
10 feet, so
10-foot
you
hallway.
can stand next to each other.
I can move
Okay.
here.
It's like, don't box me in here.
And And I'd like to prepare an action if I can, like a trigger, that if anything comes around this corner, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast it.
Excellent. A fine choice.
Wait, does she
Okay.
need to acrobatics check?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Welcome to the world.
Welcome to the bone pit, Anastasia.
never mind.
All right, so the two of you are in the bone pit. I love this. So I saw this. I saw this
land
DC.
down on top of Lane. I go, you move the like.
I saw this DC in the adventure, and I was like, it seems perfunctory. Like, why even have a DC 5 dexterity check? But here we are.
So that the wheels can fully fucking come off the wagon.
Yeah.
All right, you take 5 damage.
Oh my god! Ow.
You tumble.
I'm level 1. That hurts a lot.
You tumble into the bone pit and crack your head against a skull. So I think we see you like face to face with this like skull and like a bit of blood
I am
dripping.
laughing out loud right now. I am so cracking up.
So the two of you are you're totally boned. You can use the rest of your action to climb out of the pit instead of having your trigger action if you want.
Can I from here trigger if anything comes to us that I blasted?
How tall are you?
Like 5'3".
I mean, so there's 3 inches from the top of your head to the
Okay,
edge
well
of the
no,
pit.
I can't
so-
do that. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna climb out on this side here.
Okay, all right. Yeah, bone pit was ready. Cool. All right, Anastasia, you like yank yourself out of the pit, like pull like some jagged piece of bone out of your shoulder and throw it on the floor.
And I'm just cracking up.
All right.
I shoot you the dirtiest look.
The creatures. Let's see. They have a move of 30, so they can't quite get to you. So I think Graveris, you see these creatures. There's another one here that runs towards you. Yeah, they smell fresh meat and they come bounding on hands and feet towards you, and that's going to be the extent of their turn, I think. So they start to crowd the hallway and kind of like snarl and like try to climb over each other, trying to get at you.
Yeah, let me look up how turning undead works.
Okay. They make a save, and then if they fail, they have to spend their turn running away from you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's my.
Yeah.
It's my
Delicious.
They gross.
caster DC.
Yeah, it's your normal DC for resisting your spells.
Okay, well, and that takes my action, so then I'm stuck. Yeah, okay, let's try that.
Okay, you want to try to turn undead?
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to use one of your uses. How many uses of your thing do you have? Your channel divinity? It's one?
One per short rest.
Okay, all right. We haven't seen you turn undead before. What does that look like?
So as they approach, I just like pull the mask over my face and just say run.
Right, okay.
And then it like there's like horrifying like scary shit behind me. Like it's all
Right, the shadows behind you like darken and deepen, and like all these like
yeah.
stolen fears kind of appear. I like
Can
it.
I like feel that this is like mask at work?
No, I don't think so. Like, I think you can see it happening, and I think it's up to Andrew how like obvious the effects are.
Everything I do is real subtle.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just doing something up there, and I have no idea. I'm still laughing my ass off.
Well, I've said
giggling.
ghouls.
I mean, yes, I heard that. I'm talking about like your.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got.
Well, we'll see who's laughing when you fall in the bone pit. Is all I'm gonna say.
I would have to roll worse than either of you. So
Well, you could still do it.
All right.
Good. I'm not saying I couldn't.
Let's make this. What's my DC?
13.
13. Okay. All right. And it's what kind of save?
I'm still
Wisdom,
struggling
probably.
through this to find it here.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, my bad.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, it's wisdom.
Okay. Cool.
I didn't mean to click that. My bad.
We know you have prestidigitation. We're all really proud of you. You don't have to show off. All right. So here it comes. I got to do 3 of these. So the closest ghoul. totally fails. The next closest ghoul also fails. And then the last ghoul does
Crit?
not fail. Yeah, he's
Has an
not
iron
feared.
will.
So let me throw a little fear marker on these things.
He is a ghoul of ironclad desire
Seriously,
to
he just wants to chew you up and spit you out.
Well, then, as my bonus action, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Excellent. Okay. And that's a concentration spell?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
It's a concentration spell?
Yeah.
And it gives 2 to your armor class, right?
Yeah.
Bam. Okay.
I'm at AC 18.
Nice. Okay. Great. So Kassit does nothing. She's like, what, ghouls? And she's like trying to see, but is unwilling to get into the room.
Actually, sorry. I'm not engaged, hey?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, he's close enough.
but
He
you're
had 60
feared.
feet of movement. He's face to face with you.
But he's also
No,
scared.
but he's afeared.
Well, he hasn't moved away yet.
Not until his turn.
Let me
Okay, fine.
read Turn Undead just to be totally clear about it. So a turned creature must spend its turn trying to move away from you as fast as it can. It can't willingly move into a space within 30 feet.
Oh, it also can't take reactions.
Can't take reaction, so it doesn't
Bam.
matter. Yep, doesn't matter if you're
Nice.
engaged. You can back
So
off.
I'm going to back up to here.
Okay.
So Anastasia's in the bone pit.
no,
she's
I
just
am
pulled
out.
herself out of the bone
I
pit.
just pulled myself out of the bone pit.
And I'm interposing myself between
Okay.
her and the others.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Oleander, what do you want to do?
I move up to this side of the bone pit and I look down at Lane and I say, having fun in there. And then I just I'm going to hold a knock. I'm going to pull my longbow and wait for someone to come in range. And I'll shoot it as soon as
So
someone.
kind of the same trigger that Anastasia was originally going to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, she couldn't trigger because she had to crawl out of the pit, right?
Yeah, I don't have mine.
So-
Now, because the ghouls go on 15, you won't actually get to take that action because no one will enter the room until the turn order rolls over. So if you want to move up or
Wait.
do anything else, you could.
So
It's not until her next turn.
I thought it was just until my next.
I can't remember if it rolls over during, because then you get 2 turns
Because
in the
if I'm
same.
the last person in the turn order, then that would just blow.
I mean, rolling low, that's a thing.
Rolling low,
You get punished for rolling low.
Yeah.
Let me take a look. Actions in combat. I'll find the held action thing. Ready in action. You can only take 1 reaction per round. Yeah, so you're holding for your reaction, and then you can take that reaction, but it uses up your action for the next round. I see. Okay. So yes, you can keep holding till they go, but it's your reaction.
Is my reaction?
Yeah, so that
So I can
means
take another action.
you use your action as a reaction, and it happens. But it just means that when your turn rolls around, you can't ready another action
Could I
that
just
happens
take
in
an
the same
action
turn.
On my next turn?
Yeah. But you've used
Get
your
a
action for that
reaction.
round. Yeah.
And an action and a bonus.
Okay. So I can ready my reaction, and that's my only reaction I get next round.
Correct.
But I can also take an action.
Yeah, and that's how that works. It
Okay,
just
yeah,
means
that's
that
what
if you're in a situation where you're like in melee and you ready an action or whatever, that's instead of like taking attacks of opportunity, that kind of thing.
All right. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm laughing at Lane and holding my bow steady.
Okay. Lane, it's your turn. I've escaped my sweater.
Okay. And how much of movement is it to climb out of here?
You're essentially prone, so it's like half of a move.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna.
You can come stand next to me.
Yes, I will come stand next to you.
So am I
And,
assuming that they're blocking my shot now?
They're not.
No.
No, I can shoot. Okay.
Yeah, you can shoot through them.
Allies
I haven't had
don't.
a range
yeah.
weapon before.
I'm gonna try and rack my brains. We fought ghouls before.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I allowed to just be like, okay, I remember they take double from radiant damage, whatever. Do I need to?
I mean, you've
Yeah.
seen it happen.
Yeah, I don't care.
I literally did that with Zahirian skeletons. I went, we fought these. When I punch them, they break. You know, like,
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm likewise gonna ready in action, and I'm going to kill something with a sword if it moves up. I say, how many were there down there, Gararis?
3, but only one will come.
Because you're so spooky.
Spoopy.
I don't even say why.
Anastasia, it's your turn.
Can I see this one?
If your character can see it, you can see it.
Yeah, this one here.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I am going to throw.
No.
It breaks fair.
Oh, does it? I didn't know that.
Would your character have known that?
Yeah.
No,
that's the
totally
thing.
not. Unless
I totally
Graveris,
would-
unless Graveris is like,
is
don't
like
do
only
it.
one will come. So there's no. So if I start channeling, like, what do you do?
Yeah, so you start to
Stop
like
me?
wave your arms around and like start chanting the words to the spell. Yeah, Graveris, you can be like,
Yeah, I just say hold.
Okay. And with that, I go, all right. And looking a little bit frustrated because I was like in the middle of a thing and you made me go like, you know,
right, it's like interrupting a sneeze.
I wait until the ghoul comes around the corner
Okay.
and then I blast it with a thing.
We're
All
gonna
right.
attack this ghoul like
This ghoul's gonna get
so
totally wrecked up on. All right, so the two ghouls that are afeared of Graveris, they flee. They have to use their turn to flee into the room.
So we see this one ghoul and then we see it like run scared.
They both they turn and like run hissing as if exposed to something terrifying. And this lasts for how long?
1 minute. So 10 rounds.
10 rounds. Okay, let's add.
Do they have
a
a
thing.
chance to like wisdom save every round or
No.
No, they had their chance.
Okay, they're just spooked.
Okay.
Sure.
Round calculation. I should add that in instead. Here we go. I think it's supposed to go like this. I haven't used one of these before. Give me 1 second. Okay. Well, I'll set it. I'll just set one manually and we'll track it. Okay. So every time I'll put it before, I guess because the effect starts on Graveris' turn, so we'll go right after Graveris. And we'll take these off as we go. We're not going to need all 10, I doubt, but I think it'll end up getting taken damage.
Unless we really flail at this one ghoul for 10 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so this other ghoul, comes running around the corner.
Okay. All right. Action trigger.
Yep, you and Oleander both get to make an action
No,
against
all three of them.
Well, Lane
Yeah.
will if it gets to them.
Yeah.
So to him.
So I have an Eldritch Blast.
Did you go? Well, no, I went first.
Okay, you go first then. Fine.
I'm just saying.
I don't care.
Technically, it's in the initiative order. So so Oleander is holding.
But didn't
from,
I hold my action?
You're holding
last
from
round?
before. Yep.
Yeah.
I actually think they both just happen at the same time. So
We just both like launch.
Yeah.
I'm assuming a 22 hits.
yeah, it totally hits. Yeah. Okay, so you deal 7 damage. Excellent. Okay, so this thing comes loping around the corner, like hissing, and goes to like throw itself at Lane, and then you hear Lane and Graveris, you hear a twang and a snap, and then suddenly there's an arrow in it. And it staggers a little, but keeps like running towards you. And then Anastasia, you can.
I use Eldritch Blast on this thing, and what that looks like is basically I hold the like skull pendant with my left hand, and the right hand that's like covered in writing, basically. You can see like it sort of like lights up a bit, though it's only like certain words on it, and underneath the robe you can sort of just see it like glowing through. And there's some like incantation, like an skiva soul sita, like, and
Sweet.
like this green fire just straight out.
That's so cool.
It's
The whole-
forced.
Yeah, the whole place like lights up with.
It's force damage, but
Okay.
So let me roll that for you.
Do it.
I believe it is an attack, so it's this
Oh yeah, you hit it, no problem.
for 9 damage.
9 damage. All right. Yeah. So your Eldritch Blast scorches the creature's hide, and burns away some of its desiccated flesh. It's obviously like pretty badly hurt by the time it slams into Lane. Lane,
I'm gonna greatsword it.
do it.
I'm not used to using a greatsword.
Yeah, no, it's you take a swing, and the thing ducks under your mighty swing and manage to get away. So you hear your sword clang against the wall, and now I think you and Graveris are both like engaged with this ugly
Okay.
beast.
Does it not attack this turn?
No, it had to run too far to be able to attack.
That's nice of it.
Because it wasn't the one in the front, so it had to run past the other two as they were running by it. If it were the one in the front, it would be able to attack, but not so much. Graveris, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I would like to sword this thing in its soft bits.
Okay, that sounds like a great idea. You
Because I have advantage, right?
you have an ally within 5 feet of it. Yeah, so without Lane's help, you wouldn't.
You
have
don't
been able
have
to hit it.
advantage. You have
Right, you have sneak attack. You don't have advantage. That's correct.
Right.
Thank
I
you.
only have a 10.
Yeah. Okay. So
So not a hit.
you lash out at it, but your short sword does not find its mark. Okay. Kassit, trying to like peer. We cut over to her, and she's just like looking. She can see fighting, and she's like, "Ooh, oh, what's going on? Oh, what is that thing? And like trying really hard to see, but is like not into coming
And
forward.
I
and
like
checking
I
it
like
out.
look behind me and I'm like, stay back, girl.
Yeah, and she's like, "What is it? What is it?"
it?
It's your turn, Oleander.
I'm gonna longbow it again.
Okay.
I'm gonna bow it. I'm gonna bow the thing.
Yeah, you hit it for 6 damage. All right, you kill the creature. Describe how your shot ends the ghoul.
I'm just super confident, so I like turn to the girl and I tell her to don't do anything, and then like almost without even looking back at the ghoul, I like pull out another arrow, shoot it, and I'm just confident it goes straight for the like eye socket through its like weird ghoul skull and like out the other side and into the wall.
Nice. All right. Yeah, the ghoul with one last shriek falls over backwards. Good work. You've slain this particular ghoul. Lane, what do you want to do?
First turn to Oleander and say, not bad. And then
Right.
I used to be a longbow person in my day.
And I say, well, at least I didn't trip and fall in a bone pit
Yet.
yet.
Please
Okay.
make the roll.
Okay, so Lane, you wanna come take a look around the corner?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can just sort of see down the hallway into this room, and again, you smell the same like wood smoke smell.
Is it pleasant?
Okay. That's my 30 feet. And yeah, since I'm still not fully appraised, I guess, of the situation, I will. I can't reaction again this turn, so I'll just take a dodge action.
Okay, sure. Anastasia, it is the beginning of the round. What would you like to do?
You're muted if you're speaking.
I would like to move here.
Okay.
And likewise, sort of be prepared to Eldritch Blast anything that comes within my vision. I know there are 2 more ghouls down here because that's what Graveris said. Ghouls, 3 of them, but 1 will come.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm waiting for the other 2 to rear their ugly undead faces.
Sure. So as soon as same thing, you're gonna set a reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. The ghouls spend their turn feverishly scrabbling at the walls, trying to get away from Graveris, whose turn it now is.
Cool. I come here. Can I see the ghouls? Are they right there?
Can you see them? Can you see them on the map? If you can see them, you can see them. So there is, you can see the one.
Yeah, I think I can see one.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, so I'm going to cast
Yeah.
Guiding Bolt on him.
Okay.
Wish me luck. Yeah, I hit with a 22,
Nice. Okay.
and it does 11 radiant damage to him.
Just fry on hit.
Excellent. It doesn't actually. It does deal
And
damage.
Next attack against him has advantage.
Okay. All right. So he's illuminated with magical mask power, and you fire your guiding bolt, which is the like sort of streams you were saying before,
it's
threads.
lights fly out. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you hit the thing, yeah, it turns and becomes enraged that you've hurt it. It's no longer afraid of you. Cool. Okay. Kasית continues. I think now that the ghoul is dead, she's gonna like come up beside Oleander, and she's just staring. She's just staring at the ghoul. She hasn't gone around the bone pit yet, so she just stands there at the edge, looking at the ghoul like, "Ew, cool." Oleander, it is your turn. All your companions are running.
Cool.
All your companions are running around the corner.
I'm going to investigate the cubbies that you said were in the wall that had stuff in them.
You just don't want to fall in the bone pit, do you? Okay, you can look at the little holes. So these niches seem to be like in a sort of weird way, they remind you of the hallway you're in before, but like the much more like primitive version of that. There's little like fetishes of like bones tied together with string, rusted coins, lots of like little bits of like seemingly garbage, but arranged in an obviously like ritualistic way. They're like little offerings.
Okay, but there's nothing of value.
Yeah, nothing you can. Nothing. You
Okay,
can
well then I guess I will, as my movement, go as far forward as I can, which isn't very far. So that's
Yeah, you can get to.
I can get to like where the ghoul is, pretty much, right? And do an acrobatics. You said.
Yeah.
Yo, you can get to the bone pit.
Let's see. Close. There's a moment where you feel like you might fall into the bone pit, and then you don't, and everything's fine.
Thank the Lord, because that would have just been too funny.
It would have, yeah. All right, great. Lane, it is your turn.
There's no charging in 5th edition, is there?
There's a feat you can take that makes you like, it's called Charger, I think, where if you like move 30 feet and then you end your turn on action swing.
It's if you move at least 10 feet and then attack, you get a +2 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, well I can move 30 feet.
Okay.
And I'll ready an attack.
Okay, so the trigger is what?
A creature moves within 5 feet of me.
Okay, perfect. Just want to be clear. Anastasia.
Anastasia moves up behind Lane.
Okay.
And I can see the one with the guiding bolt that hit it. So
Yeah, it's got all these like strange magical like filaments sort of crawling over it.
Once again, I incant in what must be infernal, but it doesn't really mean anything, it's just magical sort of incanted. Drakasika! Throw an Eldritch Blast. The 12.
12 I think is just sufficient to hit. Yes, it is. Go ahead and roll damage.
Lovely. And 2.
Okay. All right, and that was the next attack against it. So yeah, you hurl the blast and it sears the creature's flesh, pushes it back against the wall, and and then now it's gonna run towards Lane hungrily. Lane, you can go ahead and make your attack before it attacks you. So it comes scampering forward, claws scratching against the stone floor, throws itself at you, and meets your greatsword in midair for 14 damage. Describe to me how you slay the ghoul, Lane, with your mighty sword.
Damn, that sword though.
Yeah, it's just it's a large sword. It's too large to be called a sword. In fact, it's more akin to a large slab of iron. Despite it normally being a like a bludgeoning weapon, classically more than anything else, I've retained some of my finesse, so I actually managed to connect with the sharpened like edge, and it just like rips the top half of it off and like slams it against the far wall.
If this were a panel in a manga, it would be a lot of scratchy black lines. Lot. Cool. Yeah. So midair just collides with this flat edge of your sword and you just slice through it. And it just comes apart. The other ghoul is currently cowering in fear. Graveris, it's your turn.
Let me get eyes on this last ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
So I move up here.
Okay.
Because that's like 30 feet, isn't it? No, it's yeah.
Yeah, give or take. I think from here you can see him, but that wall is giving him like 3/4 cover against you because he's like you can barely see like his arm sticking out on one side.
Cool. Then I just move over here and he can keep running from me.
Okay. He just walk in there and you're like, "What's up, asshole? What?" So he's gonna run into the corner on his
I'm
next.
just like, yes, keep running.
Yeah. So
You hear Graveris just like taunting this thing.
yeah, he sees you. He like looks over his shoulder and is like hisses in fear. And Kassid stands at the back here, being like, I don't want to go around the bone pit because I don't want to fall in. Oh, the fairy's having fun.
She's watching people do it in one elbow.
Oleander, your turn.
Let's see. I'm going to attempt to get sight on anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can make it to like there-ish.
Yeah, I mean you can't go through the wall, so you got to make 2 separate moves, right?
Oh, like probably there-ish. I'm just gonna guesstimate. That's me
I'm gonna just
guesstimate.
go ahead and put you there. There you go.
Okay,
That's,
fine.
that's
Yeah,
where you are.
fine. Perfect. All I can see is dead things. So I guess I'm
Whoa,
gonna
heavy.
I'm gonna hold my bow at the ready in case a ghoulish ghoul comes into my vision. Ghoulishly.
That sound of like a tense bowstring.
Yeah.
Like creaking the wood bending. Lane, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Well, let's see if we can.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can't.
we can totally can. Yeah, I just go to stand next to it, and I say, "Ready when you all are," and just like heft it, and just wait.
Wait
And
for what?
my-
What's the trigger?
The trigger is going to be when one of my companions makes an attack, just so I don't spook it and then it gets a turn. We'll wait until we all have a ready attack and just kill it.
Okay. Anastasia, it's your turn.
I will move up to there, like sort of near Graveris.
Okay.
Just hop, skip, and a jump over here. Not literally. Very, very controlled walk. And once again, Eldritch Blast with nasty sounding infernal incants. Yeah, I'm not listening to you. I'm ready. You said ready when you are. I'm like, I'm ready.
Okay. So you'll make your attack, and then Lane will immediately get an attack.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's as good as we're gonna get with this.
Plus, the
And
thing's
so-
just going to run away from Graveris anyway, so you'd have to make attack of opportunity. Lane.
That's
The
true.
ringing incants once again as I Eldritch Blast
Okay.
and
You hit.
deal
Yep.
8 damage.
Excellent. Good work. Okay.
I missed.
And then Lane swings at the thing, and as its fear subsides, it's able to throw itself aside and not get hit. Oh my god! I actually get to make an attack with one of these fucking things. It's magical. All right, so
Yo, we're playing the encounter right. If you
yeah,
don't-
no, you're killing it. It's great. So the ghoul lunges at you with whatever it's most likely to hit you with, its claws. And gets a 15, which is not sufficient to penetrate your armor.
Heavy armor now.
Yeah, so it just like throws itself at you and like slashes through your like doublet, whatever you have over your armor, and then its claws just like grind against the metal of your armor. What are you wearing?
Armor.
What are you wearing, Lane? Chainmail?
Splint.
Splint? Cool. All right. Yeah. So what's splint armor?
Yeah.
It's like layers of. It's hard to describe.
Roman legionnaire armor is
Yeah,
splint.
Yeah.
samurai armor.
Okay. That makes
Also
sense.
true.
Yeah, like overlapping.
So it's
plate
like Hanzo.
things.
Overlapping plates, basically.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Graveris, it is your turn. The turn undead has passed.
All right, I flank this sucker.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit him
Hit him.
Totally.
Yeah, you are. Roll damage.
Hit him.
for
11.
11.
All right. Almost dead, but not quite. I think that at this point, Cassita's going to try to brave the hole. So she's like, I can't stand this, and she goes to make the aces it.
She's been down here before. She knows how it works.
Yeah, so she goes around the pit, and she's like, wait for me, and I think comes up behind you, Oleander. Yeah. All right, Oleander, your turn.
It's not within my vision still.
Yeah, no, that wall is blocking it.
How far can I move? The map is so like I don't think I could get within viewing of it. I'm gonna attempt to.
Yeah, I think if you get there and you like kind of squish against the wall, you'll get like again, it'll have cover.
I can see it.
Yeah, let's see how much you can see of it. Yeah,
I can see all of it in mine.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like it's got half cover, so its AC will be higher.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to longbow it then.
All right, cool. So its AC just jumps up by 2. Doesn't matter. You get 24.
7.
I can kill Stealer over here.
What a monster.
So again, like same deal. You just like come around the corner and put an arrow through its head.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
I'm just like clean and efficient killing machine is me. That's me.
Excellent. Okay.
The thunder waves here.
So you've slewn the beast, and it tumbles to the ground, as much a pile of bones as it is a creature.
So if I use 3 arrows, I can only pick up 1.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Get one back. Okay. Let's take a break here, and we'll come back, and I'll describe the room you find yourselves in after having dispatched these ghouls. Excellent fighting, everybody. Nice work. Good job. The pit was the only thing that did any damage to you. So, GG team. Nice stuff. All right, stick around. We got more Spoopy Dungeon when we return.